Hello and welcome. I hope that you are having a fantastic day. Today we're going to talk about cryptocurrency news. There was $190 million in user money liquidated on leveraged accounts on the BitMEX exchange. State-backed German bank says that Bitcoin is going to go to $90,000 and cell phone global adoption will drive the price of Bitcoin up. So before we do that, can we get 99 likes on this video? Help us out. When you smash the like button, it helps us a lot, and we really appreciate it. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion. So yesterday, on February 27th, 2020, over $190 million in Bitcoin was liquidated on the BitMEX exchange amid the crypto market sell-off. The cryptocurrency market was shaken yesterday amid a flurry of selling that saw more than $190 million worth of leveraged longs and leveraged shorts liquidated on well-known derivatives exchange BitMEX. According to the data analytics provided by Skew, around $6.1 million buys and $190 million sell liquidations occurred, bringing it to a total of around $196 million worth of Bitcoin long and short positions were liquidated. So what that means is you can go out to BitMEX, and if you have $1,000, they'll let you leverage it so that you could actually use that $1,000 to buy $100,000 worth of Bitcoin. The problem is that if the Bitcoin price goes down, goes the wrong direction for you, because you can go long, which means you're betting the price will go up, or you can go short, which means you're betting the price will go down. So you can go either direction with leverage trading. And when you use leverage trading, you're literally putting your money up as collateral. And if the price goes against you, goes the wrong direction, because if you're betting that price is going to go up, then if the price goes down, or if you're betting the price is going to go down, then it would go against you when it goes up. That leverage, your initial investment becomes your collateral. And so if you're wrong about your leverage trade and it goes too far the wrong direction, the exchanges take all of your money, and that's called a liquidation. In other words, this $196 million was money from users on the BitMEX exchange that had bet that the price would either go up or down, but they had $196 million of their own money that went directly into the exchange's pocket when it got liquidated. And so leveraged trading is not necessarily a good idea, because instead of only spending 5% for your trade, normally when you buy Bitcoin and then trade it for Ethereum, let's say, the exchanges charge like 0.5% for that trade. Now, there's different amounts that each, some exchanges charge a certain amount for certain coins. There's all kinds of different methods that they do, but if you take a look at the exchanges, typically you're not going to spend much more than 3% or 6% when you're trading cryptocurrency from one cryptocurrency to another cryptocurrency. But if you're using leverage trading, you can lose 100%. You can be completely liquidated very, very quickly. And that's what happened yesterday, is that $196 million worth of Bitcoin was liquidated from people's accounts on the BitMEX exchange because the price dropped so much. Beginning at around 1400 UTC, Universal Time Code, February 26th, the price of Bitcoin began to fall below $9,000. An hour later, BitMEX saw its largest amount of liquidations since the new year began, rising well above $100 million. The move in the derivatives market comes during a sell-off in crypto's spot market that saw BTC's price fall more than 6% to a low of 8,675. In fact, during the day yesterday, the lowest price did hit right around $8,500, even lower than what they published here. So when leverage trading is happening, you're really putting a lot of risk, in what you're doing. It's just a very risky thing. You might be able to gain, turn that $1,000 into $10,000 very quickly, but you're far more likely to lose 100% of your money very quickly. And so it becomes an easy way to gamble instead of invest. It really does. Leverage trading becomes an easy way to gamble. And so if you're doing leverage trading, this is a good reason why you need to be extremely careful. And maybe you shouldn't be doing leverage trading because you can lose 100% of your money. State-backed German bank says Bitcoin will leap to $90,000 in 2020. The German bank BNLB has published a report on Bitcoin versus gold in which it predicts a big leap for the cryptocurrency in 2020. On October 1st, the Munich state-owned bank published the latest research report that seems to suggest that the forthcoming Bitcoin halving effect is yet to be factored into its current price of $8,300. Now, that was the price on October 1st. We've seen Bitcoin surge all the way to $10,000 and then drop down to about $9,000, back up to $10,000, and then right now the price is trading at around $8,700. So not too far from where this was actually at. Historically speaking, it has invariably been the commodity with the highest stock-to-flow ratio at that juncture, which has been used as money because this enabled the best value of transfer over time. So the stock-to-flow ratio is a way of measuring how much, like how they use the stock-to-flow ratio with gold or platinum or silver or any other of the precious metals, is they look at how much of that metal is in existence today in vaults or in jewelry, or et cetera, versus how much they're actually getting out of the ground, how much new metal, new gold is found through mining efforts on an annual basis. And that creates what they call a stock-to-flow ratio, and that ratio is an indicator of how scarce it is. And so what they're doing, what the German bank did, is they used the stock-to-flow ratio in an attempt to figure out what the price of Bitcoin would be. And so if the May 2020 stock-to-flow ratio Bitcoin is factored into the model, a vertiginous price of around $90,000 per Bitcoin emerges. This would imply that the forthcoming halving effect has hardly been priced into the current Bitcoin price of around $8,000. And so ultimately this German bank, and I find it fascinating that this is a state-backed German bank, is saying that Bitcoin is going to reach $90,000 somewhere around 2020 or 2021. When you read the article, it does indicate that this might take until 2021, but it could happen in 2020. But the main thing they're indicating is that it's going to happen because of the halving. And the halving happens on May 20th of 2020. So let's take a look at a little bit of info on cell phones. So today, the world's population is approximately 7.75 billion people. That's a lot of people. That's a billion with a big B. Now, there's unique mobile phone users is 5.19 billion. In other words, for every 7 or 8 people on the planet, 5 of them have a cell phone. In fact, when it comes to internet users, like on a laptop or desktop or some other larger computer, there's only 4.5 billion that have access to it. So there's more people that have access to the internet via cell phones than people who have access to the internet via a desktop, a tablet, or a laptop type computer. And there's about 3.8 billion people that are active on social media. Now, the reason why I'm putting this into Bitcoin news is really we want to look at how many people will eventually be using Bitcoin. And because of the amount of people using cell phones, it's easy to see that it's possible to capture 60-70% of the world's population using Bitcoin because of cell phone usage. In fact, if you live in China, like in the United States, the most common form of payment today is a credit card of some sort, Visa, MasterCard, etc. But in China, that's not the case. In China, the most common form of payment is they use their cell phone. Instead of pulling out a credit card, they pull out their cell phone to pay for stuff. And so when China goes with its own crypto digital currency that's a government-backed cryptocurrency, people will be using their cell phone to buy and sell goods using China's cryptocurrency. And that's going to open the market up in a dramatic way to people also using cell phones for Bitcoin and for other cryptocurrencies. So let's take a look at this. The amount of web traffic by device. And so today, 53% of all web traffic is done right through a mobile phone. 44% of web traffic is done through laptops and desktops. And then tablets is very small, and other devices is even smaller. So the big point here is that the majority of web traffic through the internet is currently done via cell phones. So what kind of apps are people using on cell phones? Well, 89% of apps are some sort of messenger app. 89% of the people are using messenger apps. 89% are also using social networking apps. And then the numbers go down. We can see here that 35% are using banking apps, but they're also using 66% use shopping apps on their cell phones. And so here's the bottom line. Because people are connecting socially with their cell phones as Bitcoin and cryptocurrency usage grows on the cell phones, because right now today, cryptocurrency is used by less than 2% of the world's population. It's actually a lot of people are estimating it's closer to 0.5%, 0.5% of people are using cryptocurrency. As its usage grows, people will be using cell phones and banking apps on their cell phones to trade in cryptocurrency. And they'll be sharing that with their friends also via cell phones. And so this will make the growth of cryptocurrency going from 0.5% to somewhere around 70% of the world's population. It makes it very easy for people to do, very easy for people to accomplish it. And so in many ways, cell phones have the potential, have the possibility to drive cryptocurrency usage on a global basis and in a very, very quick fashion. It can go very, very fast because it makes it so easy to do. You know, it's like anything. Look, think about the messenger apps. It wasn't long ago that they didn't exist. And they didn't exist because they needed a cell phone in order to operate. And smartphones have only been around since about 2007. So for 89% of a majority of the global internet traffic to be a cell phone social network messaging applications is pretty significant, because neither one of these could be done or, had very limited usage on desktops, because people couldn't take pictures on their desktop. People weren't, calling people from their desktop and talking to them on their desktop. Even though Skype's been around for years and years and years, Skype gets a lot more usage from cell phones or other types of chat is done far more via cell phones than it ever was using laptops and other kinds of computers, especially in countries and locations where the cell phone is the only method that people have, to communicate. They don't have a desktop. They don't have a laptop, but they do have a smartphone. And so I think one of the ways that so cryptocurrency growth is going to come from two different areas. It'll come from retail traffic on a global basis, and it'll come from institutional traffic on a global basis. Now, when it comes to retail, this is going to be cell phone usage is going to be one of the big areas that's going to drive that traffic and drive that momentum on a global basis. And we're already seeing it when China uses cell phones for buying and selling goods. You go to the grocery store, you pull out your cell phone and you pay for your groceries using an app on your cell phone. And then you go to the movie and you want to pay for your movie tickets, you pull out your cell phone and pay for it with your cell phone. Or you go to the local bicycle store because you want to buy yourself a bicycle, or you're going to buy clothes, or you're going to buy anything else that you want to buy and spend money on. In China, they're going to pull out a cell phone in order to buy that. And so they're already used to using cell phones for doing trading and commerce, and Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is huge in China. It's just going to help global adoption dramatically because of cell phone usage. So how can I be of service to you? Do you have any questions, any thoughts, anything that you want to dig deeper into, that you want more information about? Please leave it in the comments on the YouTube channel. Click the button, go to the YouTube channel, and leave your comments. Do you disagree with anything that I said? I'd love to hear from you with your polite disagreements. You know things I don't know. I know things you don't know. And when we share what we know with each other, we're going to grow smarter together. And I want to grow smarter together with you. So in the meantime, like, subscribe, and hodl. And I hope that you have a